In this Creator Series interview, I'm talking to a creator who likes to compose his music during his commute to work. That sounds like something super cool. And let's jump into it now and chat to Mr. Marcus Manderson. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Pete, for this opportunity. Thank you for having me on Studio Live today.
It is my pleasure. I've been seeing your name pop up in the comments of my videos for a long time now. You're always very supportive and very prompt jumping onto the videos. So I really appreciate that. But this is an opportunity for Studio Live Today community to get to know a little bit about you. So the first thing I see about you is Marcus Manderson, aka the Fingaz. That's very cool. I wish I had a cool name. I'm just Pete, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your musical background? Just to get us started, I like to know people's music origin stories. So I'd love to hear sort of what got you into music and how you started out.
Yeah, origin story, man. Like it should be like a movie, superhero film. But yeah, my mom actually had all of her kids take piano lessons growing up. So I'm the youngest of five. I have three sisters, one brother. I'm the only one that stuck with the piano. I do have a sister that played clarinet. And then I'm the only one that still plays an instrument. So I sort of stuck with it, grew up in the church, learning from musicians in the church, studied music in college. I was a music industry major at a school here in the United States in Virginia called James Madison University. I then went on to study Pro Tools specifically because at the time that was the #1 software. They said every studio used it. So I went to a school in Maryland, in Rockville here in the United States called the Omega Studio School of Applied Recording Arts and Sciences. So very prestigious name. The main reason I went there was to get certified in Pro Tools. From there, they had a job placement program that placed me in my current job that I'm at now. And when I started working here, I was actually running a radio show. Me and a colleague of mine here. It was a international radio show. And me and him were running the studio up until early last year. They actually shut down the studio. And so for about 11, 12 years there, I would come in early, sometimes work late. Bring in artists to work with them, recording artists, singers, bands, have them come in and record. And it was all in Pro Tools. And once they shut it down, I was looking for an alternative way to sort of get my music out. And that's when I started looking more into the iPad. I found a lot of videos online. Need to shout out Henny the Business, who was a producer who had this series called I think it was called Adventures in Beat Making on YouTube. And I just watched all his videos last year and sort of got me interested in using the iPad for production and sort of unofficially mentored me into like that process. So for pretty much over the last year and a half, 2 years or so, I've been mostly using the iPad. I do some things on laptop, but if I'm on the laptop, it's mostly using GarageBand. But pretty heavily vested in the iPad over the last few years. So that's sort of the transition.
That's very cool. That took us the whole way through. Sometimes I'll ask that question and people are like, I don't know. I started picking the guitar and started playing.
I'm sure I missed a couple in there. I'm also a musician at my church, so I play piano and organ every Sunday at church, and I usually go live on Facebook. I just found this other platform that allows me to go live on both Facebook and YouTube. So follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and you'll see me go live every Sunday from church, from the piano and organ. So,
absolutely. And check the links down in the description to check out music and live streams and all the rest of the stuff. As I mentioned, I only just, whilst I've been responding to your comments and seeing your comments for a while, I've only just started sort of diving into your music, and I'm like, oh man, I've been missing out on something here. So very, very cool. So I'm already feeling like, oh, wow, this guy went to music school and is Pro Tools certified, and I'm just like, no, hacking away on GarageBand. Very cool. So, I mean, the next question I usually ask is what got you into recording music, but I guess that you've already talked through that transition and going from Pro Tools to GarageBand. So, what was it like? Just dive into that a little bit more. What actually sparked you to go, I'm going to leave the laptop and the desktop area behind and really start focusing in on mobile music creating?
So part of that was the studio shutting down that I was working at here. So I would have access to world-class studio for like, it was 11, 12 years. I would come in, go in there, make music. Where I work, I can have music placed in some of the material we have here. And then once they shut it down, I was like, man, how am I gonna create music? I did try Pro Tools free on the laptop, and it just wasn't working for me at the time. I over the years I have dibbled and dabbled in GarageBand, but I just dove more into iPad production, and spent too much money on iPad apps over the last year and a half. But I think I have hopefully what I need to sort of get more than what I need to sort of get the music out that I'm hearing in my head, or just to get the creative outlet that I need.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's sort of the transition. I do occasionally use a laptop. There are some things that I still feel I can't do on the iPad yet. We're getting there, but a lot of like orchestral, cinematic. There's some great stuff on the laptop that I've been talking to companies trying to get them to make stuff for the iPad, just because once we get there, it'll be incredible. But I can do a lot with the iPad, and it's just way more than we could ever imagine.
Yeah, no, that's so cool and super encouraging for folks who do sort of have an iPad, either through the fact that that's all that they have, they can't afford to set up a whole studio, or just for convenience. And obviously, by the title of this video, composing while commuting, or making music and creating and mixing and doing all that sort of thing while you're commuting. And talk to us through that. So, is that something that you do? Is that on a daily that you've always got your iPad and you're always creating music?
So I always have my iPad. I'm always creating music. Most of the times, I make music coming into work, going home from work, and then once the family sleeps. So I'm usually up until 1 or 2 in the morning, just in the bed making music. I use the iPad. I have at home, I have a iRig Keys IO 25 keyboard, which has interface built in, so you can plug a mic into it. But usually I'm just using it. It's like a 1 or 2 octave keyboard where you can just play notes and chords as we get things done. I also have a motif at home, and I have the Yamaha, I think it's a BT01 Bluetooth that allows you to connect any keyboard with MIDI to a Bluetooth device. So I use that. Like if I go to a church and they have a keyboard, plug it in, I can connect it to my iPad and record some keys and stuff into the iPad. But my commute into work is about an hour and a half. So I work in Washington, D.C. I live in Northern Virginia, about an hour and a half. Well, with no traffic, it's probably about an hour away, but rush hour is usually an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. So that is a lot of time. And my goal is to make 1 song a day, or get 1 idea out a day. It can be either like hip hop, R&B, could be if I feel like I want to make some type of cue, like score, orchestral type thing. I have a lot of apps, a lot of sounds, more than I can remember, and I just try to make something every day, and that's the best time that I can do it, and that's a lot of time. That's on average 3 hours a day. That's like half a day, just coming and going to work. And it's on a bus. I ride a bus, so a lot of that time, as soon as I get on the bus, open up something, either finish whatever I was working on the day before, or work on something new. And I also enter a lot of contests. So I just recently entered a remix contest for an Alicia Keys song, and I did all that on the iPad last night, and I just uploaded it to my Instagram page, a 1-minute snippet, hosted by splice.com. So did all that, just took the files into my iPad, and just made music around her vocals, which is a feat in itself.
That's so cool. And so you're everywhere. Well, I'll make sure I grab your Instagram link too. So we'll get a pile of links so that everyone can follow you and can check out your music, because and that makes sense a lot now, because once I started checking out your music, I was quite blown away by how prolific you were and how many tunes you were putting down, and that you were able to put out. And I'm like, wow, is this like original music? Where does he find the time? And I think that is a great tip for folks that are watching here. And I know that a lot of folks come to me and say, Pete, I work work full time. I got a family. I got to pay the rent. I got to pay the mortgage. I got all this sort of thing. When do I find the time? And I think what you're saying there is, instead of sitting there and playing, Angry Birds, or that's how old I am. Whatever the kids play these days, or watching an hour and a half of the latest Netflix show or whatever it is. If you can devote that time to your music, then that's what I always say. Use those little down times. I do the same thing. I walk to work and very safely. Watching where I go, but I'm always listening to things. And if I have an idea in my head, I get it down into GarageBand or into my voice memos or something. So every moment you have is pretty precious, and you can choose to record. Very cool. So again, I usually ask folks why they chose that platform. I think we've pretty much covered that. We've talked through your transition and why you're using the iPad now. I'm going to throw an extra question in here because you've come from, I guess, the real studio world. And I only say that because sometimes people sort of look down a little bit on using an iPad. Has there been anyone that you've sort of come into contact with that has said, hey, why are you using an iPad? Or that you've had anyone sort of questioning your choices and saying, hey, you should be using something better or something different? Is that sort of come up, or are we in a point now where people are more accepting that, hey, you can do everything on the iPad?
It hasn't come up because when I send it, for example, when I send music to artists, they don't ask like, how is it created? Did you make this on an iPad, or was this made in the studio, or did you have like a band? But a lot of times they just want to hear great music. And at the end of the day, the listeners, if it's great music, they don't care where it was created. You can be in the kitchen just hitting pots and pans and make a great song in there. So I think the platform, with the technology we have nowadays, it doesn't matter as much, as long as you can make great music. Use what you got. I've heard great songs from all kinds of different platforms, from Studio One to Ableton to FL Studio, GarageBand, Logic, Pro Tools. All these platforms are great, and then you have multiple options on the iPad itself. And I've used different platforms on the iPad. I've sort of settled between. I use Beatmaker 3 a lot, which might be kind of weird because I've subscribed to a lot of GarageBand pages, but it's great how some of this information translates a lot from different platforms. So it might be a little different how you route things and edit things, but a compressor in GarageBand does the same thing as a compressor in Cubase or Beatmaker. So the fundamentals are there. But the iPad is just a really great portable platform. I can be somewhere and not just the iPad, the iPhone also. I can be somewhere, just open up an app, and I load all my music to Dropbox. I have a Beats folder on Dropbox, so I can just bring up my Beats folder and say, hey, this is what I just did the other day, and play it for like an artist, or plug it up in the studio somewhere, and be off and running. But coming from a studio environment to the iPad, I actually I like the portability, obviously, of the iPad system better. And there's so much more freedom that you get from this. Like I said, I can be anywhere. I can be out with the family. We go on vacations, and I don't have to bring like. I remember traveling with my Yamaha keyboard. It's a 76 key keyboard. We would go visit family out of town for like a week, and I would set up the keyboard and record onto like a chip drive, smart media card. This is years ago. This is back in like 02, 03. So now to just be able to record it on the iPad, now we can save it to external hard drive, but you can have literally gigabytes or terabytes worth of music in sort of in the palm of your hand, and be able to just send it out to the world. So
that's really cool, and I love that. I love that point, because I think you've nailed it there, and it's something that I talk about a lot, is that people listen. The end listener doesn't actually know, nor do they care how you've created it. They're not going to be asking you what mic. And I think as audio folks, we often get all caught up. They're like, oh yeah, what mic did you use on that? How did you EQ that bass? And it's like, no one cares. They listen to music. Does it get their head bobbing? Does it make them go, yeah, this is cool? That's all you need. Like that, you won at that point. So whether you've used GarageBand on your $100 secondhand iPhone, or whether you've used a $10,000 Pro Tools rig, at the end of the day, it's whatever the music sounds like, and whatever people think is cool music. That's what it is. Now, we've talked a lot about little about the software side and using the iPad. What would be your favorite tool? Because you've mentioned a bunch of different keyboards, your interfaces, and a bunch of things. What's your one thing you go to? I mean, apart from the iPad, because that's obviously a given that you've got with you. What apart from that would you say is your favorite, or excuse me, if you've got a few, then your favorite tools for creating music?
Just speaking specifically on the iPad, I'm going to try something. I don't know if this will be a first for Studio Live today. I'm going to try to share my screen here.
This will be a first for a guest to share their screen. No, it's great. I love it.
So bear with us as we try some new technology here.
Oh, look at that. That's great.
On there, you see a picture of my kids. This is my daughter on the left here, my son on the right. They're actually here at work in one of our auditoriums here.
Very cool.
Working on sound and lights. But I have all my apps here. So this page here is basically my music apps. I've downloaded some recently. You see like groceries app down at the bottom. That's for family stuff. But over the years, I go back and forth trying to figure out how is the best way to organize my apps. And this is the current best way for me. And the problem is I still don't know where apps are because I usually just go into BeatMaker, which I'll do shortly, and then just find the apps. I have go-to apps. You'll see my pop-ups here, apparently ESPN. But I have a bunch of apps, so I have them categorized like this: compressors, limiters, gates. That's what that G8 is. You might see some familiar people there, developers there. I have master channel strip apps. You have some great videos on how to master on the iPad. I was using Final Touch for a while, and I moved to Grand Finale. Lately, I've been using Bark Filter, which is interesting, on a master channel in BeatMaker. A bunch of Reverbs. These are all great developers. I'm not going to go over every app, but I will just go over these categories. This is my chorus flanger phaser folder here. A lot of Eventide stuff in there. Some favorite Fred Antoine Corbin Best FAC stuff.
FAC,
I have amp distortion. So you see some Clev Grand. I have like almost all of their apps. Delay and echo. And for those that want to look into these apps, feel free to slow down this recording. I'm just going through really fast.
People are going to be pausing this video. They're saying, what is he using? What are all these cool things? We'll get a lot of questions in the comments.
Feel free to ask questions. I'll check after this is uploaded. EQs and filters. And some of these apps are even free. So the bottom left there, the JAF, the Model 1, and then the collection over there, that's free. The LRC5, second row to the right, that's a free app. So a lot of great, this is sharing. I do use DistroKid, which doesn't have a native iOS app yet, but I have seen your videos on sharing music. So I do use DistroKid currently. Amuse is also great. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard great things about them. This is basically routing audio. I also have, these are my vocal effects and synths here. Multi-band effects here, or multi-effects. So like Tornado is basically like an effects rack you can put in. Synths, I have a bunch of synths. Some of my go-tos are Pure Synth, which is the second one there. D1 go-to synth. I probably use on pretty much everything. Model 15 there. Sunriser, FM Player 2. Sugar Byte stuff, Factory, Apparillo. So not all of these are my go-to synths, so I actually do need to go through and sort of purge the ones I haven't used. I won't say which ones I don't use often, just because they are all great developers, great sounds, and I have used them before. It's just some of them I haven't used in a few months. Organ, there's a big... the timing today is incredible because IK Multimedia just released a Hammond B3 organ app. They released a desktop app several weeks ago, and they've released it as an iOS app. But the price on that thing is incredible. It is $100 or £99.99. So I will probably not be getting that, but I get through just fine with Galileo too, and these other two organs here. Orchestral apps I did mention that I use the laptop for sort of the orchestral stuff, but I do have iSymphonic. iSymphonic, just be prepared to spend a lot of money. There's a lot of IAPs in there, IAP in-app purchases for those that don't know. And heavy brass, oriental strings, Jubal flute. So this is sort of like my orchestral. Bitcrusher, Granular. There's a lot of Granular / Bitcrushing apps out there. I just have a few of them here. The Jax Decimator, I believe, is also free, and RX 950 might be free. Don't quote me on that. The others, I believe, you pay for. That resampler there is also free. Drums, Perc bells. So this is more orchestral, but just more of the percussion drums type things, or bells. So Mersenne, Kronecker by Ice Gear, some bells apps, and then drum apps there. Tape vinyls. This is more for like saturation. If you want to add that type of effect, shout out to MSX Audio. They make low fly dirt and fly tape. I use that on my drums on pretty much every track that I make on the iPad. I also like Tone Boosters. They're sort of new to the iOS platform, but I've been using their stuff. They make this TV Real Bus. You might have seen some of their apps in some of my other folders. Tape Cassette I haven't used yet. It's a new app that I just downloaded. I do use DAW Cassette also on 808s. So just moving right along. These are DAWs. So this is where you see GarageBand sort of front and center there, second row, second column. But I also have AUM. I use that for a lot of live stuff where I plug in my keyboards to use in church. BeatHawk has some great string and horn sounds. They have some great sounds for like Cuban music, Latin music, all in-app purchases, but they're really not expensive. I have Audio Pro. I do not use it as much. I mainly use Beatmaker. Some other apps here, Groovemaker. I used to use probably one of the first apps I downloaded was a lot of their apps, but I haven't used that probably in years. Auditor is a great iOS audio editor. SampleBot is just a fun little toy that if I'm just in the mood to like sample whatever's in the room, just open that up. There's a room noise, a ghost in here. Guitar and bass. Guitar and bass is my next column. So I just have a couple of guitar apps. My main bass app is Bassalicious 2 here. I use that. I was using iFretless Bass for a while until I got Bassalicious 2, and now I use Bassalicious 2. But great basses there. Electric pianos or pianos and pad sounds are here. Neo Soul Keys is a great one. I use Ravenscroft 275. My favorite piano on the iPad is the Ravenscroft 275. I got that for half price. Then you see some the Pads app there by Clevgrand. These Scaper apps are great for creating sort of ambient. So they have Piano Scaper, Mood Scaper. They have in my guitar, they have a Guitar Scaper there. Just some great sort of ambient apps. These are music generator apps. I don't use these as much, but if I want to sort of have the artificial intelligence create a MIDI thing, I might open one of these. I use Riffer a lot, or Stravinsky. Some of the others I haven't used as much, but check those out if you get a chance. And almost finishing up here, stereo Widener apps, so to add some width to some sounds. I was using Haze. They released Haze 2, so I can probably delete Haze shortly. Wider Touch, I also use often. Virtual Forest, I haven't used as much. I actually won that app, used it maybe for a day, and then forgot all about it. Audio Stretch is great for sort of stretching audio. So this is I mainly use for church. So I bring in songs that we're working on for church, and let's say the song is in E flat, but the choir wants to do it in F or something. I can change the pitch there by raising it and lowering it by semitones. So some music theory there. Nor is a fairly new app. I use it to sort of enhance bass. I think it's a bass enhancement. You can only use that in software. And then this one I haven't. It looks like it's going to be Sideways. I haven't used this yet. I think it may have been free, and I just downloaded it. I want to say it creates visuals with music. And then I have Splice at the bottom. One of the newest apps is this one by Cleve Grant Hillman. I have used this on some new projects. It's incredible sounds. There's some great tutorials on YouTube about that. And then Playset, I haven't used this yet either, but I plan to dive in around the holidays. As you can tell, I haven't used it as a tutorial opens up. Looper, I also haven't used, but I believe it allows you up to 8 tracks that you can loop, and sort of seems to be like a high quality, or might be 7 tracks, high quality looper for the iPad. And then sort of at the bottom, you'll see my sort of go-to apps, mail, messages, obviously, but music related. Beatmaker 3 is right there. As you can see, the Alicia Keys remix I was talking about, here it is right here. This is what I was working on. Alicia Keys. I won't play it because I don't think I can play it as part of the contest, but, and because it's Alicia Keys. But you can find that on my Instagram. So basically, some of those apps that you saw, there's the FAC apps there. These are built-in apps. There's Clef Grand Go to EQ, and then Low Fly Dirt by MSX Audio. So bringing those apps, all those apps you see, I bring them into these apps here. Cubasis 2, they actually just released Cubasis 3 yesterday. Yeah. So the timing on all this is crazy. Cubasis 3, the organ app.
A lot of expensive things.
A lot of updates. Yeah. So I actually use Cubasis for a project I worked on. Every time Stranger Things comes out with a new season, I work on a project called Forgive Me for My Synths. And what it is just me making synth music, and I use Cubasis 3 for that. And I just bring in all kinds of synth sounds from all those apps you've seen. And that's my main use for Cubasis 3. Cubasis 3 to me is sort of the equivalent to Pro Tools, what I was using on the computer. And then these apps by Amplify Music, Blocks Wave. Which one did I just open? There's Groovebox, which is this one here, which you can use to generate some great sort of synth music with drum sounds. Believe this one is Blocks Wave or Launchpad. The icons I don't remember. This is Launchpad. So you can use this to sort of rearrange music. You can buy packs in there. You can import your own sounds. I've used these apps a lot for just making music and then bringing them into some other platform to sort of mix. And then Blocks Wave here, where you can also buy packs, or you can import your own loops and stuff and chop them up and splice them and make arrangements. And I think that pretty much covers it. Again, I know that was kind of fast, maybe not really fast, but feel free to rewind and slow down and go over if you have questions on why I use these. I do have some content online, but just a brief review of how. So on my way into work, going home from work, or at night when the family sleep, I'm pulling this thing out and just going to town with all of these apps. So as you see, I have spent a lot of money. There is one app. It's actually not an app, but it's in a web browser called appsliced.co, where you can go there and you can say that you want to. Actually, I'm going to do one more screen share because it's easier to show. And I know I'm taking up a lot of time here. Let's see if I can
again, people are sitting there just going, pause, like this is adding value, because especially if you're new to mobile creating. Oh, by the way, don't get too intimidated. This has taken Marcus a long time to build up this collection. So
this was not overnight. So I don't know if you all can see here, this appslice.co. This is a website where you can go and you can sort of put up an alert for apps. So I don't know if it's going to let me log in. So let's say, for example, most of my apps, I believe, I've gotten for at least 50% off. So like Cubasis 2 is on sale. So I have an alert set up so when I log in, all the music apps on sale show up at the top there. But let's say you want to search for an app. I click search here. Let's say I know I want to get Cubasis 3. I'll just type in Cubasis. I think it'll show all the Cubasis apps that are available on iOS there. It might take a while to load up. So you see the Cubasis apps here, other apps that are by the developer or similar apps to Cubasis 3 or Cubasis. I'm going to hit X there. So let's say you click here, Cubasis 3, it's $50. I have never spent $50 on one app. So if you want to play the patient game, I imagine this app will probably go on sale. It might be a year from now, maybe around Black Friday next year, 2020. But you can set an alert here. So let's say I want to wait until it's $50 now. I'll pay $30. So let's say I want to wait until it's $30 or less, or $29 or less. You can go all the way down. And what's great about this is let's look for an app that has, I think it's been on sale, is it tells you the prices the app has been in the past. So let's see if we can find one. I know Beatmaker was on sale because I got that app on sale. So even though it might be full price now, just play the patient game. So I want to look for Beatmaker 3 here. It's currently on sale. You can tell the price. Normal price is $40. It's $25. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you can see it was $20 for one day, Thanksgiving 2017. Earlier this year, it was $25. So you might be like, hey, it looks like every January, maybe around New Year, first month in, they do a sale. Maybe I happen to know that the last 2 years they did a sale around NAMM. So if you want to wait till NAMM to get this app, maybe it'll be less than that. But right now it's on sale, so you can go ahead and get it for
those 4 days in January 18, 4 days where it was free. That's where I picked it up. So it's sitting on my iPad. I didn't pay for it. It was free because I didn't know about. I've never used this before, but I know other people have, and they always alert me. So like, hey, B, this is free, get it.
So it's usually pretty quick. Cubase's 3 was just released yesterday. So if the app is just released the same day, it might not show up here for a couple hours, but give it a day, and then you can set up an alert and say, hey, I'll wait until it goes on sale. And what happens is, depending on how you have your notifications set up here, you'll get a text message, an email, and all kinds of notifications saying, hey, the app you were looking for is on sale now.
Quick,
buy it, or delete the notification. So sorry, I know I did a lot of screen sharing. I'm taking up a lot of time, but those are great resources. That's how I've been able to get all these apps. So I rarely pay full price unless it's a really incredible app or a developer that I really like. So most of Cleb Grant stuff I buy full price. A lot of the gospel musician stuff I might buy full price. And a lot of times the apps, when they're first released, they're on a decent sale also.
Oh, that was really cool. The good thing is that covered pretty much every other question, because I asked about gear, I asked about apps, I asked how you use things together. I think you've told us all of that, and like I said, I know that people are going to be going back and pausing on your screens and then going to Apps Live to check out the price, seeing what's on sale, seeing what they can buy. But it's very, very cool, and for it's good timing as well. Like you say, the timing of today, Cubase's 3 has just come out, and we've got the new organ, the $100 organ, from
$100 organ.
Which I know is causing a lot of talk around the mobile creative world of people saying, yes, it's worth it. No, it's not. I'd never pay $100. I'm waiting for it. All of those sort of things. But it's very cool. And in the next year, so we're here in very late 2019 recording this interview. 2020 is going to be my year of exploring some of these. So I can't count the number of times people have said, Pete, you're always in GarageBand. When are you going to check out Cubase's? When are you going to check out Beatmaker? When are you going to check out Auria? So I'm like, okay. Let me get 2019 out of the way, and then
there you go.
I'll be hitting up Marcus, and he'll be teaching me how to use all of these cool apps, and we'll be good to go. Cool. All right. Well, we've got a couple more questions here, and then we're gonna close out here. So for folks that are starting, so I mentioned as you were going through your apps, because I know that some people would be starting to feel like, oh my goodness, I don't have all these apps. How am I going to ever make music? Again, one app, you can start making music. You don't have to be there. It's taken Marcus a long time, years to get to that. What would be the one piece of advice you would give someone starting out in home recording right now? So if they're just saying, I've just got my iPad or I've just got whatever platform they're going to use, and they're about to get into their own recording, making music, beat making, singer-songwriter, whatever it is, what advice would you give them?
I would say start with what you have. So if you have an iPad, don't go all in buying apps and things. Start with, there's a lot of quality free stuff. There's great stuff being done with GarageBand, which comes with iPad. There's a lot of free apps. I believe Digital D1 is free. Correct me if I'm wrong. And there's a lot of sounds built into there, and you can make great music just from that. There's a lot of free sounds being developed for there, where you can just import them in. So just start with what you have. If I were starting now, and I know now what I know now, I probably would start with GarageBand and Digital D1 on the iPad, or if you're on a laptop, GarageBand. If you for some reason have to use a certain platform, if you're like my friends use Cubase or Studio One or Pro Tools, most of those platforms, I can't say for sure if all of them do, but most of them have a free option. So there's like Pro Tools free, or I believe there's a Studio One free version, or a light version of Ableton and things like that. So use the free version to sort of get your feet wet. If you don't know what platform you want to use, try them all. Try one for a couple of days. See how you can make music in that platform, how your workflow is, and the one that you gravitate to more. It might be the one that you invest in more. I would say, if possible, make sort of like an EP. Definitely make a song in each platform, but if you can, make 3 or 4, and sort of gauge like the quality of the music, the workflow in each platform, and see which one sort of resonates with you.
Such a good point, because I think people just sort of start using and then go, well, this is what I'm using now, not really thinking about what is their workflow. And people's workflow is different. And the main reason that I'm still using GarageBand like 4 years after I got into mobile recording is it 100% works for my music and my workflow. And as soon as I'm at the point now where, I want to try some new things, then move on. But I think a lot of people move on for the wrong reasons. They think that it's going to be better and the grass is greener on the other side. And then they move to something else and they realize that the music they make actually goes down in quality because of that learning curve of the new platform. So I like that advice. It's not saying don't try new things. It's saying try things and see what works for you. And once you find your groove and what works for you for your workflow, then make music in that platform. That's great.
Actually, one more thing. I know we're going like this is overtime now. I want to share one more resource and take a screenshot of this. Just rewind it, pause it. These are sort of the people, and I had to add this to my notes app because I share it with a lot of people. These are platforms on YouTube and people on YouTube that sort of helped me along the way as I was learning specifically how to produce on the iPad or iOS production. So started from the top there, Jakob Hack, or you can call him Jacob if you want. Henny the Business, the Sound Test Room, Pete Johns, who we all know and love. Brandon Rico Simpson, he just started this year and he has some great stuff on there. GarageBand Guide, Electronic Sounds, Audio Dabbler, Nutrix, the synth guy, Davey Pooh, Red Sky Lullaby, who's also a great synth developer. He develops sounds for a lot of apps, along with Jacob Hack, who develops sounds up there. And DJ Puzzle, iPad Loops. Don't necessarily pay attention to the YouTube links, but if you go to YouTube, type in these names here, you'll go down a rabbit's hole of information. I've spent hours watching content from these guys, starting with Henny the Business, who sort of ushered me into this whole era of iPad production, and it sort of like blossomed out from there. There are plenty of others out there. I also listen to people like Pensado's Place, Illmind, who's an incredible producer who has a YouTube page, and just to sort of take in production tips, and then these guys for specifically how to use iPad production. So just wanted to share that with you all. I have a bunch of resources that hopefully help you all on your journey.
Very cool. And I'm going to go one further. I'm going to ask Marcus to send me those links if you don't mind, and I'll throw those in the description. That way folks can go and find those, because I know there's a couple of names there that I wasn't familiar with. Most of them I am. So you got Doug over at the Sound Test Room, Patrick at GarageBand Guide. All these guys do really, really good stuff. And but if there's other things you can discover, and like you say, you do go down that rabbit hole and it's sort of one thing to the other. And that's the beauty part, is that there's so many people doing mobile music and creating mobile music and doing education. Like when I first came into this sort of space, I thought, wow, there's so many other people I didn't even know were doing this. It's really crowded. But the good news is everyone's, again, down to that workflow thing, everyone does things a little bit differently. So there's absolutely benefit in looking, okay, how does Pete do that thing? And then you go over and you're like, oh, wait, actually, Doug does it completely differently, and Patrick does it a third different way. So you get ideas, and then you go, actually, I resonate most with that one, and that's the way I'm gonna do my music. So, very, very cool. Again, I know. So if you could send those through to me, we'll throw those in the description, and then that will help folks out find those. Couple more questions before we finish up. In fact, this is the last question, and then we'll finish by asking like telling folks where they can go to check out your music. So, what would you say is the proudest moment that you've had since starting creating music? So I know there's probably a long time and a very long. What do you think? What's your moment that you're like, yeah, that was the time I knew I just nailed it?
So a lot. Actually, I don't have mentioned. I work. I know I've been vague where I work. I work at National Geographic. So National Geographic Society here in DC. I was hired to run the audio studio. I think it's been 12, 13 years. Time sort of evades me now. But so when I started working here, wasn't long. Maybe a couple. I always did music. And I was telling people here I do music, and one of the shows they were working on for our channel, National Geographic channel, they had music for the show. It was sort of an end of year countdown, and they needed they had music for the transition. So when you go from like number 10 to number 9, but they didn't like the music they had, so they came to me, asked me to work on music for that segment, and I came up with, it was only like a maybe 10-second like little musical idea they wanted. I came up with I spent a day, came in early, came up with about 30 ideas. played through, started playing them. They were like, yeah, that's okay. I got to about number 24, 25 and started getting worried because I was like, all right, they're not going to take any of these. And I think they ended up taking like the 28th or 29th one.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't part of my work, my job, I was one of two people in history that have been able to come to National Geographic. I think I'm the only one as an employee who's been able to work as a freelance composer. I think I'm the only one that was able to sort of take the best of both worlds. Over the years, I've worked on music for several exhibits that are touring the world for different segments and museum exhibits. And to pick one, man, there's so many. The one that I'm thinking about now, I want to say it was last January, February. It was a project for, it was called Women of Vision, and it was a project that highlighted women out in the science and art studying. And I'll share a link with you if you want to send that out. And I was able to work on music for that, and it's just a powerful video. And they played it at one of our big events here on the big screen with surround sound. And I was like, man, this is incredible. But just being able to work on music and see it as part of a final product. And then at the church side, like hearing like incredible singers every Sunday, being able to get on a Hammond organ that I didn't have to pay $100 for, and to just get up there and a grand piano every Sunday, just the ability to make music. Right now, I think I'm most proud of this Alicia Keys remix that I've been working on. There was an app I didn't open on here that I just started working with called LumaFusion, which is a video editing app. It's not cheap. I think it's normally $40. I think I got it for maybe $20 on sale. Set up an app slice alert if you want it. But this is the sort of first big remix project where I sort of dived in there. And I really like what I was able to do with the visuals. I use a combination of some animation effects in another app called Pixaloop, and then brought it into LumaFusion, and that'll be on my Instagram page, sort of the effects I was able to put on there for that remix. It was just a static image, but you can sort of animate, have things coming in and out. Cool. So that was my submission for this remix contest. So yeah, I'm always just, whatever I'm currently working on is like sort of the most proud thing. But yeah.
It's always, it's often the case, isn't it? Yeah, you remember the last thing. It's like, what have you done? Yeah, the last cool thing is the thing that resonates. Very cool. Well, it sounds like I've got some work. I need about 100 different links for you to send through, but we'll make sure that down in the description that we have all of the links that Marcus. I won't get you to send every single app you own. Folks can pause and find those and use AppWise to find those. But yeah, if you want to check out Marcus's music, which I definitely recommend you do, then jump into the links below and follow his YouTube channel, on Instagram, all of the other places that you can get in touch. And yes, and we will borrow that list of creators as well and throw that one down there as well. Any parting words you have for us here, Marcus, before we finish up?
Just, I know starting out, and this is a quote, I remember reading it a lot recently, or hearing it a lot recently, where I think the quote is, things didn't get easier, I just got better. So when you're starting out, things may seem hard or difficult. There'll always be that level of sort of difficulty or learning curve. Once you start learning how to use things, like right now, I'm new in LumaFusion. It took me, I think, almost 2 hours to sort of edit that Alicia Keys remix. I know at the end of it, I'm like, I probably could have done this in like 10 minutes. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was playing with all kinds of effects and things. So things aren't going to get easier. You're just going to get better at doing those things. So starting out, it may just seem like, you got to climb this mountain. But once you start like breaking it down to little steps, you just start the climb, start the journey. Starts with one step. So There you go. Parting words.
I can't say anything better, so I won't. We're just going to finish up there. Thank you so much for your time here today. Folks can check out all of the links down below. And if you like this, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because we do a heap of these creator series all the time. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks.